Ever experience moments, days, weeks, months, and even years of chaos and turmoil? Well, every hero's journey begins with some kind of disruption, a moment when life no longer follows the path that you expected. For me, it wasn't one moment, it was several. Like many people, I went through life not knowing that I wasn't living my highest self. I mean, at that time, I thought, what the hell does the highest self even mean? I wasn't getting what I wanted, sure. My life was so far outside of my dreams that I had totally forgotten what my dreams even were altogether. And I didn't know how to get out of that cycle until the discomfort became so great, so uncomfortable, that the problems that I had created, various negative outcomes, could no longer be ignored. And at that time, I noticed what I was saying to myself. Why does life feel so hard? Is this all there is? Am I doing something wrong? Why do I deserve this? I mean, I'm following all the rules. I thought I was doing everything right. Perhaps you can relate to those same questions. Now, contrary to this, at least on the surface, it looked like I was successful. I mean, I had two beautiful daughters I absolutely adored, a caring husband who earned enough to support all of us, but I wanted to work and I had my own business. Yet beneath it all, I experienced some of the same struggles that millions of people face today. Feelings of uncertainty, adversity, heartbreak, health challenges, anxiety, and periods where life seems to feel like as a rug is being pulled from underneath your feet. There were times when I felt completely lost, times when I questioned who I even was, what I was meant to be doing, and whether life would ever feel better than this. But also, I was actually experiencing one of the most stressful times of my life. My business wasn't performing as I had hoped, and I was spending loads of money trying to fix it. We were moving house and there were so many complications, including a death. Also, we suffered a mafia attack in Italy. I'll save that little chestnut for another time. Needless to say, I felt like life was conspiring against me, conspiring against us. We were suffering with money constraints as well as time pressure to move, and the British moving situation doesn't help matters. Now, I'm not going to lie, I didn't spend years searching for the answers to those particular questions, because at that time, some 15 years ago, when the majority of the population were on the same treadmill, feeling the same thing, with no way out, we didn't have social media with all the answers. And then one day, in the midst of life spiraling and not in my favor, when it all got too much for me, I asked myself a completely different question. I asked, how can I change this? How can I improve this? You see, it's only with the knowledge that I have acquired since then that I now realize that question changed everything for me, and it can do the same for you. And those challenges, well, they became the catalyst for something much greater. Rather than accepting circumstances as fixed, I became curious. I felt like, above all, I needed to heal myself. And that curiosity led me down a path that would change the course of my life forever. So what did I do? Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you what I didn't do. I didn't take the one pill fits all antidepressant that the doctor prescribed me in the 10 minutes he had to misdiagnose me. After researching my symptoms, I worked out I actually had brain fog. No, instead I wanted to work out what was wrong with me. Now, I teach my clients to ask better questions these days, but that question was enough to spark my curiosity in the right direction. And so I immersed myself in the study of the human design, human behavior, psychology, belief systems, personal growth, extraordinary ways in which our thoughts, emotions, perceptions shape the reality we experience. That's when I came across manifestation. And at that time, and probably like most people of my age, and I know some people still don't believe it. And in fact, I actually tried to disprove it. until one day I woke up and realized that I had manifested the house that I was living in at that time. And I'll post about that particular story in another video. Needless to say, that realization changed everything. What started as a personal search for answers became an obsession. For more than a decade, I researched, I observed, I documented and tested ideas. I wanted to understand why some people seemed to create extraordinary results, why others remained trapped in limitations and patterns. Along the way, I faced my own challenges because what got me to this point, what I called a perfect storm, was nothing compared to what I was about to experience and what got me here today, which I call a divine storm. You see, when I began to tune into myself more, I awoke the sacred knowledge that everyone has inside them, a quiet whisper that told me to take particular action. So despite a lack of symptoms, I asked the doctor to send me for tests. And after over 8 months of operations and tests, my doctor formally diagnosed me with cervical cancer. That divine voice that I finally started to listen to was the voice that saved me, that saved my life. Unfortunately, I was advised that I had to have everything taken out. This then set off what I can only describe as a chain of events that caused me absolute hell, because my surgical intervention forced me into menopause, where I suffered debilitating and acute anxiety, panic attacks, mental and emotional disruption that would have challenged and felled the toughest minds. I had every symptom in the menopause list and I could add to it, and it was acute. But it got worse when I ruptured my Achilles tendon. I experienced personal loss also during this time and major life transitions, including splitting from my husband of over 26 years a week before COVID, and then cohabitating in the same house for 4 years whilst our girls finished school and started university. Each experience forced me to confront another layer of myself. Each challenge required an old version of me to die so that a new version could emerge. What I eventually discovered was that transformation isn't random at all. It's required, and it's a process. A journey that almost everyone experiences when moving from where they are to where they want to be. A journey filled with signs, synchronicities, setbacks, challenges, breakthroughs, uncertainty, and growth. And the more I studied this, the more I realized manifestation wasn't magic at all. It was a language, a dialogue between our subconscious mind, our higher self, and the universe around us. And most people have never been taught how to understand it. I experienced that if you are not resonating at the level or frequency of your desired outcome, transformation must then occur for manifestation. That realization led me to create Mapping Manifestation, a framework that helps people understand the stages of transformation and recognize where they are in the 8-stage process. It led to creating the Manifestation Tracker app, designed to help people to identify the signs, patterns, and progress along their journey. It led me to writing the book that I'm currently working on getting published, because it was born from years of research and documentation into the hidden language of manifestation and the signs that guide us towards our desires. Today, my mission is simple: to help people stop feeling lost, to help them understand the process that they're already living and experiencing, to help them recognize the signs, strengthen belief, and create a life that feels more aligned, meaningful, and fulfilling. Because the greatest lesson my own journey taught me is this: the obstacles are not the end of the story. In fact, I'd argue they are the beginning. They are often the very thing that you need to prepare for the life that you're meant to live. And sometimes the moment everything appears to be falling apart is the exact moment that everything is beginning to come together.